Booties for Black Girl Nerds.
Thank you so much. Nicole, it's such a pleasure to be with you. I've enjoyed your work for so long, and now you join one of my favorite universes, the Dick Wolf Chicago version of the universe. It's when you become part of a Dick Wolf show, it's almost like becoming part of like a TV royal family. So when the part of Samantha Miller came up for you, and you got together with Dick Wolf and all the powers that be, what was that day like for you?
Oh, it was so exciting for so many reasons. Love the show. Love Jason Begay. Love Dick Wolf. But Eriq LaSalle has been my friend for so long, and he has a special place in my heart. He directed the first episode of Soul Food the series where I met Boris, and he's really transitioned into this powerful director and producer with a great eye, and a need to be authentic in these stories that he's telling on the show. So when he called and said, NBC, we're talking about you for this role, I said, yes, whatever, yes. Mommy's going to Chicago. Nobody cry.
Eriq LaSalle is amazing, and I can't think of a more perfect person to that, given the trajectory of his career and kind of coming through that NBC system and start being on a big show and now being at the helm of a big show. It's perfect. It's like when someone works their way up through the office and they know all the parts, so it makes them
All
the
the
best leader.
parts.
That's amazing. So tell us about Samantha Miller. I know she's a superintendent, and I know what Hank and the crew and the PD and they do. Um, what is her job in relation to their job? Is she a DA? Is she more on the law enforcement side? What is her role in relation to them?
She is one of the highest ranking police officers in the force. Mm-hmm. She probably has been on the force for 25 years. Most women who make it this far have worked their butt off. They have started in patrol cars on the scenes of crimes. They had to prove themselves to their department heads, to their partners. They've taken a bullet, they've shot a bullet. They have gone through the ranks, they've upped their training, and they've moved into she's moved into the highest position. The only person above her at this point is the mayor. So in a city like Chicago, maybe someone on the team can correct me, but I think it's about 30,000 cops. And she has to, the one thing that I love about this character is that she's not coming in from the outside to affect change. She's already on the inside. So she knows what this Hank's force goes through on a daily basis. She's not just making these broad strokes and ripping pages out of the book and saying, we're going to rewrite them. She knows that she has to honor and respect what it takes to be a cop, but at the same time, expose some of the holes and patch them up in the right way.
I like that, because that's such a great segue into what Hank's force represents. They're working in intelligence, and as the fans know, sometimes they take some creative approaches to get to the result that in real life, are questionable, but they're making these creative choices for an ultimate good for the most part. How does Samantha, do you think, relate to that? Will we learn things about her past history where she had a similar type of background? Like,
I would love that. I think it's a big cast and it's only a few minutes in an episode. Mm-hmm. But I think that they're trying to really explore more this relationship with Voight because of what these two characters represent. He's the diehard, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the diehard, we have to acknowledge that it's broken so we can fix it. Mm-hmm. So it is the symbols of these two approaches that have to come together, and that they're really trying to do that. And what's so wonderful is that they're doing it in a hot moment. They're not doing it as talking heads and about principles. They're doing it when somebody gets shot on the show. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When it's a cop that gets shot, when it's a kid that gets shot, and then it's two officers. that are brothers, but they're different. And what are those two things that are coming to the forefront of their mind in that moment? What impulses? These are all the things that we've been talking about for the last 10 years that came to a head in 2020. Is it training? Is it psychological support that's missing? Is it racial bias? Are they too young? Are they, all of the things that have been exposed? Is there too much corruption? And I think that these issues all happen in that moment. Like, what do you do and how do we fix it? Mm-hmm. And the writers are really trying to figure that out.
As I listen to you speak about it and the conviction, I mean, obviously Nicole and Samantha are not the same person, but I love how passionate you sound about it. And so I'm thinking about how that's going to translate into your performance, because as you learn these things about your character, you take that knowledge and how you portray her and how she's going to interact and what new energy she's going to interject into the building as we get to know her. It's fascinating. And I love especially that it's a Black woman who is sitting in that seat and can affect change, because Black women are going to do it and affect change, and almost like art imitating life.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so, because it's an opportunity here to open people's eyes, and to show how dangerous it is being a cop, mm-hmm. And how much sacrifice it takes to dedicate your life to that and taking that oath. But at the same time, fighting invisible demons is very hard, not just on the screen, but in real life, because you're trying to convince someone like a Voight, who is so good at his job that his perspective might need reevaluating. Because it's the perspective that is going to change the approach, that is going to change the training, that is going to change the moment. And so that's a big undertaking, and the show's only an hour long, and there's only so many episodes in a season, and I am a new character, but the fact that they're trying, I think, is going to stimulate dialogue and be an example of what it looks like, because everybody is frozen right now on the real side, because they don't know what it looks like. And there's something about Dick Wolf and Eriq and NBC that they want to slowly show what that might look like, mm-hmm. what reform looks like, what cooperation looks like, what community investment looks like, rebuilding relationships looks like. And so I'm just enjoying being a part of that struggle.
Mm-hmm. I like how you said that, because they do that so well with these shows, how they kind of interweave the changes into it. So it's not, you're watching a whole different show, like this week it's this topic and the next week it's a whole different direction, just to be topical, but current, but just too outrageous. And I anticipate, I'll act like I haven't seen your episode yet. I'm gonna let the audience enjoy how they interweave you into this group of people.
And it's delicate because she has to be. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think that she's going to get farther being on their side. And she is. She's one of them. And the other invisible thing that exists is the loyalty. Mm-hmm. You're in a car with your partner, and there is a loyalty in that oath. So that can either breed life-saving situations for each other, emotional support for each other, but also corruption, covering up for each other. And the show really tries to do that. I mean, before I joined the cast, I remember standing. Who stands up and watches TV? Like, I walk back into the living room and I don't sit down, because Atwater told the truth. Mm-hmm. I mean, mm-hmm. Season 6 and 7, it was a whole other thing.
It's a terrific show. You know, I call it my work TV. When I'm in here writing and I need something on, you know, I spend a lot of time in Inglewood, California with the Chicago PD on my TV because it's just one of those shows. It's so, the storytelling is so interesting and how topics are woven in. And, you know, sometimes the ending is not so clean. It's not going to always be a happy, what you deem to be a happy ending, but it might be the best outcome. So lastly, before we wrap up, you're definitely no stranger to episodic TV. Is there anything different about this experience compared to your other episodic TV experiences?
Oh, it's kicking my butt. Okay. Like at this point, I could probably go into a courtroom and like handle my business. But between I got a gun, I got a walkie, I got a phone, I got terminology, like I have upped my game with this show. And then to be someone who's playing someone who's been a cop for 25 years, that all has to be effortless. So it's like, you know, it's fun for me. I feel fresh again.
I love that. Nicole, thank you so much. You're so talented. I enjoy you so much. I love that you're popping up into this universe and doing a whole new thing and just seeing you out there. That's awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your great questions.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.